What's up, everybody? Today I'm going to be talking about the sector that pays the highest dividends, MLPs. Midstream MLPs to be exact. But before we start, I'm wearing my Colorado Star Wars shirt because last week I got bashed for being from Colorado. I have no idea why. Maybe he's jealous because he hasn't moved here yet. Seems like everyone else is trying to move here. But anyway, back to midstream MLPs. This sector has really gotten beaten down from like 2014 to 16 when oil prices completely crashed, which caused most of these companies to take on leverage to finish their growth projects. But by 2018, free flow cash and earnings were starting to go up. But then in 2020, we had COVID. COVID absolutely wrecked every industry, pretty much. With travel and a lot of other businesses coming to a standstill, fossil fuels were no longer used in the quantity that they were previously. So this caused oil prices to once again crash. And at the same time, you had Russia and Saudi Arabia in the middle of an oil war. Put both of these situations together, and the situation exacerbated to the point where oil prices
have turned negative. Today,
I remember a friend / customer who was just freaking out because he had a very large stake in oil. And then when COVID happened, luckily he didn't sell. So with the price of a lot of these midstream companies plummeting, I did continue to add to my positions, hoping that everything would come back someday. I figure, what's the worst case scenario? If COVID is going to overtake the world, then all the cash that I'm losing anyway, I'd probably be losing it anyway, or it doesn't really matter if there's no civilization anymore. But then businesses started to reopen, people started to travel, and the whole world was starting to come back online. The need for oil and fossil fuels once again started to return, and the prices of these stocks for these companies finally started to rebound. Now, one of the biggest questions posed is, how is this new administration in the US going to affect these oil companies? I did do a whole video on this. I'll try to link it. Renewable and green energies are all the craze right now. But the new restrictions on oil developments and fracking sites makes the existing ones that much more valuable. As of right now, the balance sheets on a lot of these midstream companies are about as good as they've ever been. A lot of these companies' stock prices are back to pre-COVID levels or better. So now that you've been patient with me giving you a quick overview of this industry, I'm going to give you a couple tickers that are in my portfolio that are just absolutely home runs in my opinion. The first company is USA Compression. USAC is the ticker. Now, as their name implies, they offer compression services to gas and oil companies that produce fossil fuels. Their price right now is in the mid $14 range, but that's coming from the mid $3 range last March. So if you would have picked up shares last March, your shares would be up 400%.
oh my God! Wow!
And the dividend yield, are you ready, is 14%. Now, MLPs have a certain tax advantage. That's one of the reasons that their dividend yields are so high. Your dividend yield, if you bought them back in March, would be 60%, if you can believe it. Yes, 60%.
That's impossible!
Now, I already owned a lot of shares before the crash, and I have been buying it throughout the last year. So right now, my dividend yield averages about 20%. Another midstream company that I've actually owned for years longer than USAC is DKL, Delek Logistics Partners. It's actually kind of funny because as I'm filming this today, they're getting a little bit of fallout from their last earnings report. The report shows that revenue is up and operating expenses are down from last year. But unfortunately, they missed their estimates on their earnings per share, which drove the stock price down. So what did I do? I picked up 50 shares. With their current stock price, the dividend payout is about 10%, which is absolutely fantastic. And both of these companies I just mentioned have big institutional investors like JP Morgan Chase, Invesco, ClearBridge, Sachs, Goldman Sachs. Speaking of institutional investors, going back to my last video about trolls, it's funny how I was called an idiot for being invested in such companies, right? Yet these companies that I'm sure you guys have heard of, like Goldman Sachs, Invesco, JP Morgan, big bank, these companies make billions of dollars in profits. Why would they be invested in these companies? Maybe I'm not such an idiot after all. Speaking of ownership, just because I own them does not mean I'm telling you to buy these stocks. I'm just sharing with you what works for me. But keep in mind, guys, I'm sharing these stocks because they're not the big normal talked about stocks that you see when you do like a Google search on dividend stocks. These fly a little bit under the radar, and if you've already retired using like normal growth stocks, this style of investing is absolutely perfect to replace an income. That's what I'm doing right now. Guys, I promise I am here to help you guys. I really want to spread the word about how I did this. I'm not asking for anything from you guys. Like I said before in my last video, I'm never ever going to sell a course. So I'm not ever going to be like, hey, join, be a Patreon and I'm going to show you my portfolio. Screw that. I'll show you my complete portfolio. Just give me time because I got to make some more videos. Speaking of making more videos, in the comments, tell me what kind of stuff you'd like to see regarding investing, or anything for that matter. I have about a gajillion videos that I still need to make. I kind of am on the, I guess what am I trying to say? I'm pushing the limit a little bit of how many videos I should make. I don't want to make too many because I need my newest one to last a little bit before it gets pushed out by my newest video. Does that make sense? But anyway, I'm going to be taking a little bit of a vacay at the end of this week, going to Florida. Cannot wait. It's supposed to be hot and humid. As much as I love Colorado, I can't stand February. It's so cold, dry, and dirty. Anyway, until I see you guys again, thank you so much for liking this video, watching this video. Please remember to be kind to one another, and I will see you later. Bye.